What's up, Word Warriors? It's your girl Jazz, the Story Maestro, and today I want to talk about pacing. And our case study is The Bear. If you know about the show The Bear, you know it's placed in a kitchen setting or, around Carmy, who runs a kitchen, very fast paced, very hectic, and it's all the things that says this show is nothing but fast paced. But we're going to go over pace in a way that lets you think about it even if you have a slow paced story. So follow me. For starters, what is pacing? Pacing is the rate the story is moving. And that means from one point to the next. It does not mean how fast you are telling the story. That probably sounds very complicated because it's like, well, rate means speed, and you're saying how fast. Yes and no. Again, rate is how fast the story is moving, like the rate at which the story is moving, the tempo, probably be a more delicate way to set the tempo on which the story is moving, opposed to you saying he went out on the street, then he went to get some ice cream, then he went to the movies, then he went this area. You feel what I'm saying? Because if I just hit one beat, next beat, next beat, next beat, it's not necessarily a story, it's a summary at that point, and then you don't get to experience anything. However, with a good pace and good tempo, you can still make the story feel like it's being moved along while still providing all the details necessary in order to still be immersed in the story. That's a lot, I know, but I promise you it's different. For me, I love the idea of pacing because you get to really give your readers an experience, especially with something like The Bear, and make it feel like the real thing. Or even a love story. If you want that soft, sensual, deep love, you know when to pick up the reader's heart rate, when to slow it down, when to be very intricate and detailed with, the lush feelings of love, and when to really pick it up if something bad happens and then they fall into hate and not love. So we're going to go over a few things that you can take into consideration when it comes to creating pace for your story while analyzing how The Bear did it. Let's identify the mood you are going for. When it comes to The Bear, we want fast pace. However, with your story, what are you going for? You can identify this by just listing a bunch of adjectives. Is it, again, if it's romance, is it soft, sensual, deep, merciful, graceful, compassionate, swoon worthy? What is it? Or is it The Bear? Hectic, chaotic, harsh, in your face, soft sometimes, and that sometimes is like that much. So like, what words can help you to describe your story? Because that way, when you think of those words, now you can reflect on what mood that those words put you in, and how you can explain it. And then I guess you could say, it pauses you so that you can reflect deeper. Because now you've done the description, now you have to put it in words. You can't just use those words as description sometimes. But if I were to say swoon worthy, what is swoon worthy? What are what is something that will cause it to feel swoon worthy if it's a romance? Or what is something that will make it feel like it's hectic if it's The Bear? I'm sorry, in a kitchen setting. For instance, The Bear. Something that was so chaotic for me is the kitchen environment itself. People are everywhere, plates moving over your head, cussing and yelling across the way. That one episode when so many receipts were spilling out of the printer, that alone felt like chaos, because I don't know how I would feel if I'm in my kitchen and I got literally 77 orders coming through, and they all have to be delivered in 8 minutes. I don't know if it was 77 orders, but I know he said that it had to be delivered in 8 minutes, which was crazy. So what types of events can take place to set those types of moods so that you can get those types of feelings? I actually love this tool. Use your character's reactions as a pacing tool, because not every character reacts the same. You might have someone like Carmy, who is very chaotic in himself. He can't sit still. You have that one episode where the moment that he sits still, he's like, we need to get back to work. But then you may have somebody like, I think his name was Prince in the book, in Love Radio. Please don't quote me. the boy, the love interest, he's very smooth. He's chill. He lets her like freak out when she needs to, but still able to handle it in a very calm and collective way. That settles the story a little bit. Whereas Carmi, when he was trapped into the, or now I'm jumping to another episode, when he was trapped into that freezer, or he was trapped in the freezer, so many things were running through his head. That's why he was spiraling, and that's why he went crazy and said all the things that he said, because he's still going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. He's not able to, his mind wasn't able to sit and rest like, bro, you're not getting out of here no time soon. It was like, no, but I have to do this, I have to do that. And he already had so much going on, and it just went crazy, which, because his mind is all over the place, that still feels chaotic, especially if you're going to write it out. Imagine having to write out everything that Carmi was going through while still being able to, I don't want to say illustrate, but provide information. No, that sounds so technical. So imagine having to write everything that Carmi was going through and thinking while still implementing everything that's going on in his surroundings outside of the freezer door, because the kitchen still went on. There were still customers all out there. There was no way for any of that to go any other way. But because all the difference was Carmi's attitude. If he was able to slow down, it would have just been, kind of like noise in the background. But because he was still interacting with the background and the atmosphere, it was still chaotic. Again, where you see have Prince, he's just very chill. He's like, hey, I know this is going down, blah, blah. Excuse me. Gives time to reflect, all the things, because, well, yeah, you get to chill. This is interesting. I thought it was just going to be the bear, but I want it to be like both, where, kind of like helping you to balance it out. So yeah, anyway, so my next thing will be, how fast do the beats occur? Every beat is to push the story along. So rather than there being, I guess you could say, a breather in between each beat, you may not have a breather. You may go from, for instance, in The Bear, you have the Christmas episode. They're chaotic in the kitchen, then they're yelling. Then they go to a really miniature point where everybody's a little calm, but it jumps right back into the next argument. Then it jumps into the next argument. The next thing you know, there's a car in the living room. Everything is just going very fast. But you may have something a little bit more swoon-worthy, like a romance. I keep thinking of Love Radio. I don't know if you guys ever read Love Radio. Absolutely adore it. It was so cute. It's a YA romance. If you don't like YA romance, then I don't know. But that's what I did. But that was super cute because it gave you moments of the characters to pause and reflect on how they feel. And think about, well, do I like this person? And what this person did that made me feel this way? And just really in depth in here with how they feel. And then the next romantic thing my food's ready. And then the next romantic thing happened. But there were pauses. There were, loving this little scene, now reflection. Loving this little scene, reflection. The Bear is like boom, 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 boom. While still not necessarily, oh, this happened, this happened, but something trickling into the next slowly but surely, but still fast, if that makes sense, because we have a beat, but then we get through that beat, but we're on to the next beat, and we actually get through that beat and we go on to the next beat. Whereas not just this happened in this beat, this happened in this beat, this happened in this beat. And I think that I'm trying to say it in the way that people often do a lot of tell, don't show, and you want it to be show, don't tell, but you can do show, don't tell without having to tell the audience, hey, this is what we're doing next. It just kind of happens and it just flows. I hope this makes sense. We can probably go into this a little bit more later, but again, how fast the next beat occurs, not how fast you can get through it, because you still want it to have the effects that it needs to have, because there may be pivotal information in that scene. Moving on to the last point. Does it fit the plot of your story? Now, could you imagine the roles reversed if Love Radio was chaotic and The Bear was just this swoon-worthy, chill situation? I'm betting it would be, I'm sorry, no offense, but a kitchen setting that's slow pace would feel very boring. And in actuality, it probably would fit more with what's actually going on because the chefs are so focused and concentrated that things probably do slow down a lot more. But on the outside looking in, we're just getting the outside. We're not getting everything in, but we can feel the anxiety, but not necessarily get all of it at the same time because we can't feel their feelings, but we can feel what they feel on the outside. So imagine that we got all this stuff going on, but it's super calm and super smooth all the time, and just just very okay. Oh, he's gently placing the sauce on the sauce on the plate, and it'll be like, bro, I'm over this. And if it was Love Radio, we'd be like, bro, this is toxic. This is too much going on. This is not swoon worthy. This is actually I don't want to deal with it no more. So it has to fit the story. If you have a slower pace, that definitely fits a nice romance. Granted, it can be adventure romances where they have a little bit of a quicker pace. Not saying Love Radio is super slow because it's medium paced, but again, imagine if it was super high stakes, super high like pace. It just wouldn't fit. Just like if it was The Bear and it was very slow, just wouldn't fit at all. So it has to fit your plot. It has to fit the plot of the story. A very high paced environment in a kitchen setting in the Bear. It's chef's kiss. I hope these 4 tips help out. Identify your mood, how fast the beat occurs, use your characters and their reactions as pacing tools, and does it fit the story? If it doesn't, you might want to change it. So this is what I have for you. I hope it helps. And yeah, what do you guys think? And if you guys don't know me, my name is Jazz, the Story My Show. Thank you so much. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I am so happy that you guys are around. I'm really excited because I feel like my channel has kind of been growing, and I'm just glad to have you guys here because as writers, we need people to talk to, because when you talk to people who have similar interests as you are able to come up with more ideas. Like, talking to yourself is cool. I do it anyway. But 2 minds are better than one. Always. Always, always, always. I look forward to talking to you guys again. Happy writing.